Welcome to Library-ish. Today, we're diving into the world of mobile libraries, how libraries have traveled by wheels, horseback, and even boats to bring books and resources to people everywhere.
We'll take a look at the history of mobile libraries, the role they've played in connecting communities with books, and how Butte County Library's very own mobile services have evolved over the years.
And of course, we'll talk about what our current mobile library is up to, where it goes, what it offers, and how it's making a difference for readers across Butte County. Let's go. Okay, mobile libraries are amazing. What's so great is to be able to go and, I think for little kids especially, to be able to go and access books in a way that's unexpected, that isn't like a big old building and all serious and stuff.
It's fun. It is a lot of fun. And honestly, when you live in a remote area, sometimes you don't get that opportunity. There's
Right.
lots of kids and grown-ups that don't get to make the drive over. I mean, like, for example, we're up here in Paradise. And up further up the hill, there's more towns. All the way up there, it's a good few hours drive,
Absolutely.
And to come down to Paradise Library is hard. So
Yeah.
when you have a mobile library that's willing to go to these rural places and address these people, it's lovely. It's delightful.
Absolutely. And that's what the mission of mobile libraries has been since their inception. A little brief overview of the history of mobile libraries. In 1859, it is the year of the first recorded mobile library. It was in Warrington, England, and the library was called the Perambulating Library because it perambulated or wandered across the countryside.
Let's bring that word back. Oh, I just want to say that. What are you doing right now? I'm perambulating around the neighborhood.
Perambulating across the courtyard, across the parking lot. Perambulating to the Jamba Juice.
It sounds so much more fancy when you use the word perambulating.
It does. Interesting. This particular mobile library, as were many of the early ones, was a horse-drawn cart, which that adds a whole separate layer to the job description.
No, it's so funny because the books are behind the horse, and you know what happens behind the horse? There's business that happens behind the horse that are next to the. It's a horse. It's not like a buggy or a car. There's stuff that happens.
Exactly. When you see that tail lift up duck.
But these poor books are behind there, and we're like, no eating in the library, you could ruin the books. No drinking next to the books, you don't want the water damage.
No.
Oh my!
No sticky fingers, no candy, no. Woo! It's a whole other thing.
Yep. Oh, those poor librarians.
I know, right? So in the U.S., the first mobile library is recorded in 1905, and it was the Washington County Free Library in Maryland. And the librarian's name was Mary Lemist Titcomb. And she spearheaded the initiative, which we have talked about this in previous podcasts about how instrumental women have been. They're instrumental today, but they
didn't start that way,
but also this was one particular area of employment where women shone since the earliest inception. And this was also a horse-drawn wagon that delivered books to rural residents, thereby expanding the library's reach to underserved communities, which is exactly what we were talking about. That mission has not changed. Mobile libraries still are predominantly a means for libraries to meet the community where they're at when they have difficulty getting to a library. They're in a rural community. There's poor transportation in an urban area. That's what mobile libraries are for.
Well, you got to consider, as a library and as library professionals, we want to get information to the public. We want to make it as easy as possible for the public to access this information. And like we were talking about a little while ago, it's hard for them to travel all the way down here. So our purpose is to get this information to you. In any way possible. And historically, the librarians, they used to ride mules, they used to ride horseback, they used to, go to places where they knew people lived, and they knew these people needed, books, they needed information, they needed culture, they needed, they needed this opportunity.
And access to information, which is that is our primary directive as librarians.
Primary directive.
in a very Star Trek kind of way, but it
Mm-hmm.
is true. Providing access to information is our the main thrust of what we do.
Oh yeah, that's why we're
So
here.
yeah.
It's to provide this information.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's it.
Yep.
That is our goal.
And it makes a mobile library or bookmobile a natural tool
It
for
does. It
libraries to
does.
use.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other things that a library can do besides promotes literacy for all ages, expands the access to books like we've talked
Mm-hmm.
about, and helps support rural and underserved communities. Like our current bookmobile that we have, it has internet access. It
Mm-hmm.
will have printing services, all these things that are being set up to be able to deliver to some of the outlying communities, especially with our community, considering that internet access is not as widespread yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're still working on things like that. So, but
Mm-hmm.
also they encourage community engagement, which is super important.
Oh, very much so. And
Mm-hmm.
we do have, I know ours does, and I know there's a few other communities that do this. We can also use it as a literacy coach, a place where we have,
Mm-hmm.
children come and we read to them and we try to inspire reading in the young ones. Because even though the mobile library is very functional and it has very important reasons for existing, such as
Right.
providing all this access, it's fun. It's just
Oh,
it's just a lot of fun for the kids to get to play on this thing.
absolutely. And, that's part of why our mobile library is so colorful
Mhm.
and so engaging in that way, is because it does capture the attention of children.
Mhm.
And it's one thing that if a child is a reluctant reader or doesn't have that kind of exposure to books, having this fun, colorful truck,
Uh-huh.
bus, whatever a library happens to have, come into the neighborhood, it's such an extraordinary fun experience. It's
Oh
so out
my
of the box.
goodness.
It gets the kids attention.
When we first got the mobile library,
Mm-hmm.
they took it. The literacy team drove it, and
Mm-hmm.
they took it to all the different branches just to kind of introduce the public to this. And
Mm-hmm.
it's big. I mean, this thing is really because
Yeah,
it's got to
our
be big.
mobile library is very
It's
large.
large and it's beautiful. And they pulled up to the parking lot here in Paradise, and I was working that day. And I was like, I want to go see it. I want to go see it. It's just, and for me, I'm an adult sometimes, and
Apparently.
apparently I'm technically an
Yeah,
adult.
technically.
And I got to go up it and I got to go up the stairs and I got to see all the pretty new books that are designed that way. And they have these little chairs that I got to sit in, excuse me, often. And I got to read these.
You're
these
excited
books.
about the mobile
I
library.
was, I was, and I'm still, every time it comes around, I'm like, I want to go on the bus. I want to go on the library.
Absolutely. And some of the things that we do in addition to the literacy services, we also go to schools and daycare with our mobile library and go to senior homes. And it is definitely one of those things. It's just such a great community hub
Mm-hmm.
to bring people a connection to the library when they wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily get one. Butte County had its first mobile library in 1957.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a good minute ago.
Yeah, that's quite a while ago. Obviously, the one we're driving today is not that one.
No.
And there have been mobile libraries in between.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sometimes we've referred to them as bookmobiles.
Mm-hmm.
Our mobile library had a ribbon cutting in August of 2023. We had gotten it a little beforehand. We were supposed to actually get it much earlier, but there were some
Mm-hmm.
issues with the whole Panini
Mm-hmm.
thing.
The fun 2020
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
all the fun 2020 stuff. So there
Mm-hmm.
were a few delays. But as of August 2023, we did our ribbon cutting and
Mm-hmm.
we opened to the public. And then we
Yeah.
got on the road. Then I believe it was the early 2024 where we really started to take her around
Mm-hmm.
and start doing little events. I think she'd been doing literacy events before that.
She had, because literacy, they contact
Mhm.
preschools and they make times when they can go to these preschools and they read a story for the
Mhm.
kids, and then they have a fun little take home activity
Right.
for the kids to do and a free book for these things. It's a really great time.
Just so you know, the way the mobile library is, there's a form online. So if you go to our library's website, you can either access it through, there is an A to Z guide index on the website, or you can look through, it should be on, there's a carousel that you can see with links, direct links to all sorts of services.
Mhm.
Also, if you just search on the website mobile library, there is an application process. There is also a specific criteria that the mobile library adheres to for making visits. You can go ahead and read through that, and you can see whether having the mobile library at your event is right for you. You can go ahead and fill out an application. Those go to our literacy manager, Chelsea, and she evaluates each one along with our director, Misty Wright. And they did make the determination as to whether we can make the visit or not.
Because our mobile library, it's a twofer, our one. Ours, it helps literacy as far as, encouraging, love of reading within children and things like that. But it also does access these communities, these information deserts, that don't have access to a library, and they need access for this. So, I mean, either purpose the particular, mobile library adheres to. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely. Step aboard Butte County Library's state-of-the-art mobile library, a rolling community hub made possible through generous grants from USDA Rural Development and the California State Library. Officially introduced to the public with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on August 19, 2023, this innovative library on wheels is designed to bring the library experience directly to you. At 36 feet long, this spacious and welcoming vehicle is thoughtfully crafted to serve all members of the community. With kid-friendly stairs and an in-body wheelchair lift, it's accessible for everyone. Inside, you'll find a flat floor layout that maximizes space and flexibility, featuring modular shelving, workstations, and cozy bench seating. Perfect for browsing books, working on projects, or enjoying a quiet moment to read. The mobile library boasts LED lighting and skylights, creating a bright and inviting atmosphere. With a rooftop air conditioning system and diesel-fired heating, it's built for comfort in all seasons. For outdoor activities, a 21-foot awning provides shade, and robust cellular Wi-Fi ensures digital access wherever the mobile library goes. This innovative vehicle is more than just a place for books. It's a technological marvel. It features a Bluetooth sound system with interior and exterior speakers, optional solar panels, and a hybrid power system for energy efficiency. Safety is top-notch with a video surveillance system, proximity sensors, and stunning exterior graphics that make it a beacon of library services on the move. Thanks to the support of USDA Rural Development and the California State Library, the Butte County Mobile Library is more than a library on wheels. It's a gateway to knowledge, technology, and connection. Serving communities of all ages and backgrounds, it travels across the county to inspire and enrich lives wherever it goes. And that's a wrap on our journey through the history and impact of mobile libraries. From book wagons of the past to our state-of-the-art mobile library, it's amazing to see how libraries continue to roll out services to meet people where they are.
To get more info about our mobile library or to request we visit your location or special event, you can check out Butte County Library's website to see where we're headed next. Keep your eye on our social media. You never know when we might show up near you.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Library-ish. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a review, and share to help spread the joy and love of libraries. Bye!
Bye!